Hello, everyone.
Howdy.
Good day.
Today we are doing a tier list of all the social media sites. We got a lot of tiers. This Spurb, A, B, C, D, F, fail tier, and TikTok tier.
Strange naming of tiers, but okay.
Let's do Facebook first, or should I call them Failbuck? Their well named community rules have nothing to do with the community and everything to do with enforcing Facebook's worldview on the world. They banned me during an important lawsuit fighting for proper counting of votes, which is horrible. Election interference. They have no respect for the American people or the users. F tier.
You're just salty that you lost.
Facebook should not ban the leader of the free world. Who do they think they are?
I think as one of the most used social media sites in the world, it deserves a tier based on the consistent growth it has demonstrated.
What the fuck are you talking about, Barack? How could you put Facebook into the second highest tier? Being popular isn't the same as being good. Their commitment to censorship is un-American.
Fair enough. I am not worried about censorship. However, I am very worried about the negative mental health effects of using social media. In fact, both sides means the responsibility in this aspect is larger. Zuckerberg went in front of Congress and admitted that using Facebook is negatively correlated with mental health.
Only if you use it passively.
That's right, Joe. But we don't know which percentage of people use Facebook passively.
If it was a small percentage, Mark Zuckerberg would have said the percentage.
That's a fantastic point, Don.
A lot of kids like Facebook over MySpace. Maybe it should be higher than F tier.
Oh my God, Joe, you're old.
First of all, MySpace versus Facebook divide happened a while ago. Second of all, Facebook is mostly used by millennials, not Zoomers.
Millennials still sound like kids to me.
Okay, boomer.
While the negative mental health effects of Facebook are worrying, the unfortunate reality is that they are probably not the worst one out here. So, unless we are going to put almost everything into F, I think it should be higher.
Good point, Obama. I'm going to lower my standards just like you had to lower your standards in women.
Fuck you, Donald.
I am putting Facebook into B tier.
Cool by me. It's definitely better than MySpace.
Next up is TikTok, the worst thing to come out of China since before the China virus. It is a spy program against the American people. I made a special tier for it, the TikTok tier, and that's where it belongs.
While I don't think we should be concerned about where the app originates, I do worry about its privacy practices.
Wouldn't China be upset if we put it into the lowest tier?
Oh my God, how much did China give Hunter for the big guy?
I find your allegations distasteful. Besides, if you hate TikTok so much, why did you ban it during your presidency?
I have an excuse, I promise.
Holy baloney, Donald. You just got on.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, we're talking about how TikTok is pretty bad for Americans.
But if we all hate TikTok so much, is Joe actually going to ban it?
You bet your ass I am.
I will respect you slightly more if you do, Joe. Let's ban TikTok once and for all. Just one question, Joe.
Yeah, what's your question?
Can you just ban TikTok and not make it a weird power grab thing like putting people in jail for 20 years for using...
What?
Of course, it's going to be a weird power grab thing too.
For fuck's sake, guys. Next up is Substack. Substack is a great company actually combined to the great American because of free speech.
You mean misinformation?
No, you authoritarian dipshit. I mean free speech. The First Amendment of the Bill of Rights.
Yes, free speech is pretty vital, but out of curiosity, do you read any Substacks? Trump.
Oh yeah, I read a few. For example, Passonomics is a great Substack which talks about the future of America, and I...
Of course, Pashonomics is fantastic.
I read it too.
I'm okay putting Substack in this tier.
How could it be satire? It doesn't even have groups, a core social media feature, nor can it play music like MySpace did.
Don't necessarily judge every site by having every possible feature. Substack occupies an important niche, blending free blogging and paid content. It delivers this well, so it is tier in its niche, even though it can't every social need people want.
Fair point.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying the criteria. I'm okay with S tier.
Next up is Twitter. Twitter used to be a great platform before November 2020. An amazing tweets written by me. Then it made the horrible mistake of banning me for questioning the most recollection in the history of recollections.
It certainly wasn't the most.
Anyways, there was a lot of banning of you going around.
As I was saying, the website restored some of its former glory since Elon Musk took over and fired all the FBI agents and allowed me back on the platform. Although it will never be as great again, it remains a decent site.
I disagree with the last part. I think the website became worse since Elon Musk took over and made himself the account with the most followers.
Who had the most followers before that?
Me, of course.
Now is the salty one.
So what's the disagreement about here? Who is this Elon Musk guy anyways?
You know, I can't believe you don't know who Elon Musk is. He's the richest man in the world and a founder of Tesla, an electric car company.
I am all for electric cars, but I prefer to work with established American companies such as Ford and General Motors, not some foreign startups.
Tesla is an American company and they make way more electric cars than Ford and General Motors.
And that's a fascinating fact. Elon Musk sounds like a foreigner to me. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to look this up.
Okay, but back to Twitter. I think Elon's leadership has not made the site better. In particular, he has restricted Twitter API and made it too expensive to be useful.
That's true, but he did reduce censorship and open source the algorithm. With a proper algorithm, Twitter could be made great again.
Well, in theory, that could be the case. However, Pashaonomics has published an outstanding review of the Twitter algorithm in the beginning of April and still has not been fixed. Twitter algorithm puts tremendous pressure people to talk about the trend, which means everyone always feels the need to have an opinion instead of deferring to experts. When the algorithm is fixed, I would put it higher, but right now I'd vote C tier.
That's a fair point. Looking at their algorithm, they are really biased towards daily active users with lots of free time, which means everyday working class Americans don't have a good chance to succeed.
Hey guys, I just used Askis to look up this Elon guy, and it seems he was born in Africa.
Yes, he was in fact born in South Africa, but he is an American now.
By the way, Barack, did you know Elon when you were a kid?
No, why would I have known him as a kid?
Because you two were born on the same continent.
You know, Donald, you get banned from all the social media precisely because you say stuff like this.
No, I get banned from social media because they are controlled by a bunch of Marxists who don't believe in free speech. However, there is one site on this list of finally free from cultural Marxist propaganda. It is Truth Social, the greatest website on the God's given earth. Absolute chew and to steer.
Oh my God, Trump, you are so biased.
Is in truth social basically a copy of Twitter with you in charge instead of Elon?
No, it isn't. We are way better.
In what way?
Well, we have truths instead of tweets, which implies that at this point the term tweets is basically a synonym for lies.
Sound like you just rename it a variable. If Truth Social was building fundamental innovation, I would consider it better than Twitter. However, all copies of Twitter should just go on a C tier.
Well, I am in charge here of the tier list, and I make the final call. Just to appease you negative Nancy's, I'll put Truth Social into a tier, instead of S tier. See how on BS and objective I am.
This is bullshit.
Who's the authoritarian asshole now, Trump?
Next up is Reddit, another originally good site, ruined by censorship. First they tweaked their algorithm to downgrade the best subreddit, there is the Donald. Then they banned it altogether. This is also the site where one of the highest users, Maxwell Hellwig Ghislaine Maxwell, who is now in jail for heinous crimes.
It's allegedly that the user in question was Ghislaine Maxwell.
Of course, you'd know all about it. Trump, speaking from first-hand experience with Epstein.
I watched the news, you know. I kicked that Epstein out of my party and never saw him again. I am the least connected person to that whole crew of degenerates out of any prominent politician. Unlike you two.
Oh, fuck off. I am not connected to them either.
Define it, not me either. I don't know anything about how Epstein would use consenting girls to create blackmail material on the many people in the country while getting funded from unclear sources. I don't recall any of my associates interacting with him.
There are times when saying less is more, Joe.
Of course you don't recall. You don't ever recall anything, Sleepy Joe, after that extremely specific denial. I don't know how anybody would have further questions. Anyways, back to Reddit. It is now a wretched hive of scum and villainy. Fear.
Of course, let's get back on topic. Certain unusual users, and aside from the fact of banning you, are there any systemic issues with Reddit?
Well, for starters, it counts all votes the same way regardless of user karma. This is vastly inferior to even basic implementations of user power like pageing. The whole site caters to the lowest common denominator of each subreddit, making the so-called front page of the internet unusable clickbait crap.
It's called democracy. Trump, one person, one vote.
Let me mansplain something to both of you that Obama might have not studied at Harvard. Reddit is a direct democracy. The United States is a republic. In the United States, people don't generally vote on laws. They elect leaders. Great leaders like me, if all the votes are counted properly. If the United States were like Reddit, it would be just full of clickbait-sounding laws, the text of which has nothing to do with the headline. It still might be better than Joe's presidency, but that's not saying much.
I feel like we are losing this one. Or
It's an interesting perspective. Donald, consider that while Twitter pushes trend setting, the Reddit algorithm does not do so, which is a point in its favor. Also, many niche subreddits are useful enough that people frequently search for information on Google by adding Reddit to the query.
Sure thing, Barack. I can bump it up to D tier.
Okay, moving on. What do we want to do next? Instagram or LinkedIn?
Instagram has a lot of beautiful girls.
So does LinkedIn.
What are either of you talking about?
Creepy Joe, those are recruiters. They just use bots to message everyone about jobs.
That explains why a lot of them talk about programming.
My God, Joe, why are you even on LinkedIn? You have a job. You are the president of the United States.
Yes, I definitely did not forget that even for a moment. I should probably update my LinkedIn or something.
Yes, also Trump, you are a married man. You should not be on Instagram. You are going to horny jail.
Just because I am on a diet doesn't mean I can't look through the whole menu. And I am not going to horny jail. The horny indictment is a politically motivated sham.
All right, look through the menu, Trump. You look like you ate every item listed on the menu and then ate the actual menu.
Trump, you got wrecked just now. Almost as hard as in 2020.
What happened to body positivity? Or is this another ridiculous democratic double standard? I vote to put both Instagram and LinkedIn C tier. Instagram is a nice way to waste some time. LinkedIn just doesn't seem like a very useful site.
That's because you never applied for a job. It's invaluable for people looking for work, though not an everyday use case. Reducing this friction is great help for many Americans.
I understand you, Obama. Applying for work has become more relevant after Sloppy Joe ruined the economy.
I had to do what I had to do after the stupid virus you let into the country.
LinkedIn fulfills the role that it is meant to serve. Maybe a tier.
Too much spam on the site. I am going B tier.
I am okay with B tier.
Next up is Pinterest. I don't have it. However, Melania has it.
I don't have it either, but Michelle has it.
Same. My wife has it.
Okay, I am going to ask Melania her opinion, and you two can do the same.
Honey, can you tell me how much you like Pinterest? On a scale between Substack and TikTok?
I'll be right back to ask as well.
Okay, Melania says it's very pretty, nice looking site. It functions well as a picture search engine, maybe B tier.
Michelle says it creates realistic standards for many women, and their news feed is polluted by people you don't follow.
My wife says Pinterest got copyright issues and can be buggy, but also promotes healthy hobbies. C tier.
Joe, you do remember your wife's name right. Also, let's average it out and call it C tier.
But move on. The next sites are called Twitch and Tumblr. Why are so many sites named after strange bodily movements?
Astute observation. Joe, I find Twitch chat to be worst pile of degeneracy since 4chan, and while occasional streams show quality gameplay, it suffers from an acute lack of features focused on community health, even when compared to Twitter.
Are you talking about the hacker known as 4chan?
Twitch has originally evolved as a game streaming site. However, it has been taken over by scantily clad women. Some of them are okay, but some are not even attractive, not looking great, yet their nipples are still protruding, which is very, very disrespectful.
I have so many problems with that statement, but it sounds like we agree on Twitch not being great. D tier.
Yeah, I hate it when I have a Twitch.
We gotta finish this up quick. Joe's drugs are running out. Next up is Tumblr, an absolute dumpster fire of wickedness and low-quality memes.
I am going to have to agree as well. Jonathan Head's research has pointed to 2012 being the time when mental health in America started to decline, with Tumblr potentially playing a role.
Wasn't that the year you got reelected as well?
I don't see how that's relevant. Let's just drop it into F tier and move on.
I don't like it when I tumble.
Maybe you should practice going up and downstairs when not in public.
The last one is YouTube.
Let's do YouTube next.
We are on YouTube, so we got to stay positive about it.
Agreed. If we put YouTube high, maybe the algorithm like us.
Not sure that's how the algorithms work, but it's worth a try. However, would be great if the viewers liked and subscribed as well if they want to see more videos like this one.
If they do so, they would be S tier viewers, the greatest viewers in the history of viewership. I am putting YouTube into S tier.